We have Andy in Mass. Hello, Andy. Why is my phone not working here, Sarah? There we go. Andy, hi.
Hi, Glenn. How you doing? Been bad,
For a guy who just got on the air and just said your country doesn't exist as you think it does anymore, I'm doing great for that guy.
No kidding. Hey, real quick, I tweeted out a couple of things yesterday. Somebody went on whitehouse.gov and set up a petition for Free Justina,
Right.
and I got that through Mito Action through their website. And then the other thing I tweeted out was that Children's Hospital Boston, if you go onto their webpage and you search for mitochondrial disease, they have a link to their own mitochondrial clinic. So they have a doctor that doesn't believe it even exists at their facility, but yet on their own website they have a mitochondrial clinic.
Jeez. Andy, this story doesn't make sense from start to finish. Unless you look at it, that they made a series of errors and then they just kept putting chips on the table and chips on the table and chips on the table, and now they have nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
I think that you have doctors that have their own agenda and that are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yes.
And when what's the saying? When you're a carpenter, the whole world looks like a nail. So they have surgeons that, of course, the first thing they want to do is cut someone open. They have, psychologists. The first thing they want to do is prove whatever they think the issue is.
Right.
And when you get big facilities like that between Tuffs and Boston, they have differing opinions, and not all of them agree, and they get this complex. Well, that's Tuffs, and we're children. So
right, and that's where you have the right to say, I choose those guys. And that's when Children's Hospital stepped in and said, no, you no longer have that right.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's tough because we deal with both of those facilities, and I really would love to champion this cause more, but because we frequent those facilities, it's difficult for me.
And Andy has just told you the reason why I am relying on you, because nobody in Massachusetts will fix this problem, because Children's Hospital is Harvard. Mm-hmm. DCF is the state. DCF looks to Children's Hospital for all of its medical advice.
They employ everybody.
And everybody's hands wash everybody's hands. And so what Andy just said, I can't champion this any more than I already am. Mm-hmm. And that's why it takes people out of the system and out of the state to make a difference, because there's nobody. I mean, Joe, my attorney, came to me this morning and said, Glenn, you got to get on the phone with some of the guys, some of the legislators in Massachusetts. And I said, there's a state that just reelected Barney Frank over and over and over and over again. You kidding me? You think those people don't even understand what justice is? Do you think they even understand things that aren't corrupt? Yeah, you know what? I tell you what, I want a fair trial. I'm going to go to Philadelphia. And when I'm done in Philadelphia, then I'm going to go to Chicago, and I'm going to meet with the good city hall people in Chicago after I've met with the people. And then after that, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to meet with the mayor of Washington, D.C., because they're completely drug-free. Yeah, right. So it's going to take you to be able to fight for this. Now, on the White House, I mean, they need 100,000 signatures, and it's really kind of And
then they're supposedly bound to talk about it.
Yeah, they're bound to respond to it. If you think that the president is actually going to help, you're sadly mistaken. I don't put my name on a government website because I'm going to get campaign ads from the White House for the rest of my life. So if you want to go sign that, here's what I recommend. What the hell? Let's just double down. Sign up for a new account with Google and then put your new Google address up there on the White House. And while you're at it, why don't you go
ahead and get a credit card at Capital One.
Capital One. Go ahead and get that.
Sign their new contract.
Sign up for iTunes. Just hit agree on everything you see. Just hit agree today.
And we're changing your long distance service without your authorization.
Look, I mean, we got to do everything we can. Do everything we can. And I'm not going to poo-poo anybody's idea. On whitehouse.gov right now, there's a petition. They need 100,000 names. I wish I knew more Mickey Mouses. But sign up.